Welcome to Diffuser Diaries. This is the space for essential oils beginners to learn how to use oils to up-level your skincare and self-care. I'm your host, Izzy Rose, and I'm a certified clinical aromatherapist. I'm here to give you tips, tricks, easy recipes, and science-backed information, all to do with aromatherapy and essential oils. So, put on your diffuser if you have one, grab your favourite oil, and let's dive into today's episode. Hello everyone, back with another episode of Diffuser Diaries. It's Izzy, and I'm happy to be back on speaking to you all about rosemary oil, and rosemary oil is literally everywhere right now. So rosemary oil is an essential oil, and people have been using it to grow their hair, and it literally bloody works. Like, if you have seen anyone create content using rosemary oil, whether that be in their own shampoos, hairsprays, hair oiling routines, it is literally everywhere, like on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. Like, it is literally being used so much, which just pleases me because I'm an aromatherapist and there is a little bit of a stigma, I'm not going to lie, around using essential oils and do they work, and there's kind of all this conversation, and it's just really good that it's becoming kind of mainstream, and I love it. I'm here for it. So I just wanted to explain to you about rosemary oil and why it is so good at growing hair. So rosemary oil has actually been proven to be equal to or better than minoxidil at growing hair. And minoxidil is a prescribed medication. So the fact that rosemary oil is like beating pharmaceuticals, I mean, I kind of knew it deep down, but just having the validation there, it just makes it feel so much better. So that's just crazy. And I think a lot of kind of funding has gone into this area, especially in men's hair loss. So rosemary oil has been shown in clinical studies to inhibit the hormone DHT in later life. So that's one of the testosterone hormones. Men need DHT, but when they're overproducing it in later life, that's why you get hair loss. And rosemary oil has actually shown that it inhibits DHT and stops converting testosterone. So that is amazing. It literally stops hair loss in its tracks by the sound of things. So rosemary oil, I'm here for it. I am on my own hair care journey right now. And the people that around me know, my boyfriend, my friends, I'm literally obsessed with growing my hair and making it healthier. And I use oils in my daily life to do this. And I will literally tell you my 101 hair care routine, all my secrets, and how I use rosemary oil. I have something so exciting to share with you guys, and as a massive thank you for listening to today's episode, I have a free snippet from my first ever published paperback book, and that is Carrier Oils for the face, hair and body. It's all to do with aromatherapy and using oils for beautifying ourselves. So I'm sure you'll want to have a look at that. I am going to leave the free snippet down in the show notes. You just have to sign up to my email list. And if you wanted to buy my book, it's available on Amazon right now. So go and check it out. And as a massive thank you, I'd love to give you a free snippet. So go and have a look and enjoy. So rosemary oil is extracted from the rosemary plant or herb, and the way it's done that is through various different methods, but the main method is steam distillation. So there's various different extraction methods with every single oil. It just depends on the plant or the fruit or the seed or where it's coming from. With rosemary, because it's got that kind of hard exterior, especially on the herb, like if you've ever felt rosemary. So steam distillation is the best way to extract it. And rosemary is a herb that's been used for thousands of years medicinally, and now that's why rosemary has been given a lot of attention, is because of its medicinal properties. So if you decide to download my free snippet from my ebook, the recipe that I'm going to explain to you is in the book. So if you want something to go back and refer to, it's all there. And it is my hair growth supercharged recipe. Now, this recipe has been tried and tested. I have been growing my hair for the last at least 6 months using this recipe, and let me tell you, it does work. And it works for me. Little disclaimer, it takes consistency and using the oils correctly. So give this recipe a try if you can. So the recipe includes rosemary oil with the carrier, argan oil, and also cedarwood essential oil. So as I mentioned before, we can't use essential oils straight on your hair, on your body. So that's why argan oil is being used as a carrier oil today. And I love argan oil. It is just really luxurious. It's great for hair. So that's why I decided to use it in this recipe. So that would be 2 to 3 tablespoons of argan oil, 2 drops of rosemary oil, and 2 drops of cedarwood essential oil. So how I would do it, how to make the recipe, this is just for a single use. It's not for like bulk use. I recommend when you make a recipe at home, you do it once, you try it, you see how it goes, rather than making loads and wasting oil if you don't like the recipe, or if it doesn't work, or it feels a bit funky. So I would recommend just making the one batch of this ratio, warming the argan oil, but not too hot, maybe in like a pan or something, like nice and clean. Add the 2 drops of rosemary essential oil and cedarwood oils into the warmed argan oil and remove it from the heat straight away. And then you can part your hair like along your parting, around the back of the hair. And you can apply it using your fingers or with a dropper. And gently massage the oil into your scalp for 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. A lot of people use the inversion method, which blew up like 10 years ago. A lot of people were using it and they were like lying on their backs on their beds and just like hanging their head over the side of the bed and just massaging their heads. I mean, it does definitely work, but you can use the inversion method, but I also use like a scalp massager, and that's just so much better. I want to stand up straight when I'm massaging my head. So scalp massager is a great way to go. And you can leave on the oil for about 30 minutes before shampooing. I personally don't leave oils overnight. A lot of people do. Just find what works for you. If you do leave it overnight, I'd recommend wearing like a shower cap or something so it doesn't go on your bed sheets. But this is the key for me to improving my hair, its health and its growth, and healthy growth, because long hair doesn't actually mean healthy hair, but this blend means that my scalp's healthy and my ends are healthy. So I'm totally here for it. I love the recipe. If you want to check it out, it's in my ebook. The link is in the show notes for it, so go and have a see if you like it. We did also talk about rosemary oil in the last episode, and that was to do with productivity and focus. And rosemary oil has anecdotally been shown that it helps with remembrance, and rosemary is the symbol of remembrance in medieval and historic medicinal uses. So I personally use rosemary oil if I'm trying to remember something. My memory is absolutely horrific, and rosemary does genuinely help me. If I just have one of the bottles near me, I can just sniff it for a couple of minutes and I just feel that my brain power literally starts again. It's crazy. So we talked about grapefruit being great for productivity, but I would definitely recommend rosemary as well. So rosemary, the recipe that I just explained to you for hair growth is a topical application. And if you just want the other benefits, like I explained to you about memory and focus, you can use rosemary oil just from the bottle, as long as you don't apply it to your skin. Just a couple of sniffs from the bottle directly, that's going to give you a kick of rosemary oil. If you want it going for a longer period, like let's say you've got a Zoom meeting and you need some focus, you can pop a diffuser on. You can buy these on Amazon, and then you put your water in, and then it's 2 drops of rosemary oil in there. And also I mentioned about mood sprays in the last episode. So I wouldn't apply these topically to the skin. I would just spray them in the air, and it would just be around, if you got a 20ml bottle, I would use 12 drops of rosemary oil if that's not going directly on your skin. That is the correct dilution ratio. It's a 3% ratio. So that means there's 3 drops for every 5ml of carrier. So your carrier can either be water or oil, like carrier oil. So we used argan oil as our carrier on the topical application recipe. So always make sure you dilute your oils to the correct ratios. If you're applying to the face, if you want to use rosemary oil, if you look into the benefits of rosemary oil for the face and you want to use rosemary oil directly onto it, I would use a weaker dilution of 1%, which is 1 drop of oil for every 5ml of carrier. So just make sure you are diluting to the correct ratios. We don't want any reactions here, and start off gentle and then build up. So even if you go less than that, less is more, and you can try out, and then if you find out, oh, I don't need to use such a stronger dilution, it's always the way to go. So less is more, less is more. Also, rosemary oil is just as good as the herb. So if you can't get a hold of rosemary oil right now, you can buy rosemary, the herb, in shops. I'd recommend using organic rosemary if you're going to use this recipe, just because it's going directly on your hair and you want it to not have any pesticides on it or anything like that. So firstly, if you want to use this recipe, this is the Hair Growth Supercharge hair spray. So it's one that you can just use once a day, and all you need is a spray bottle, some water and some rosemary. So all you need to do is wash off your rosemary. I would say like 2 to 3 sprigs of rosemary. Then you just want to kind of simmer it in a pan of water for probably, I would say, 10 minutes on a simmer, like a 3 or 4 on the hob, and then strain that off into a spray bottle. And you can keep that in the fridge for maybe 1 to 2 weeks. Just check on it if it's going a bit funny. But you can spray that directly onto your scalp, and that is going to really help as well with hair growth. So there's multiple options when using rosemary. You don't just have to use the oil. I personally recommend it because it's a lot easier to use an oil versus a herb, in my opinion, because you know how many drops you need to use, whereas with rosemary, herb, it's not as clear. So always I recommend using organic oils, and especially if you're using it on your hair's very sensitive, so you want to use something that's been free from pesticides, all from start to finish when it was grown. And I hope you really enjoy using these recipes if you do try them out. They are literally everywhere right now, so if you want to send me a little video of you doing a recipe, I would love that. I am just starting YouTube myself, so I will be uploading quite a few recipes. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's just a round off of rosemary oil and how popular it is. And if you want to jump on this trend, I would definitely go for it. It's got the go ahead from science-backed sources, so go ahead and try it. As always, thank you for listening to today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you tried any of the recipes in today's episode. You can email me. My email is down in the show notes. I also have the link to my free snippet of my ebook, so go and check it out. and I look forward to seeing you, sort of, in the next episode. Have a lovely week and happy blending. Bye.